I'll have to be honest, I had to resist doing the whole deep dive on myself today, being around 18 and about number 18s. But the greatest of all time, I know Lee Matthews was special, but the greatest I've ever seen in my time is Wayne Carey. These highlights I could watch all day long. Just the duck, some of the battles he had with Hawthorn, and you know this final against and one of them which we'll get to see, where he was on Chris Langsford and it went into overtime, and it was just all about Wayne Carey and the duck. So his courage to go back with the flight or to hit up on the lead. Now, he was an amazing athlete, so he's one of the best endurance runners at North Melbourne as well. So he'd run opponents into the ground, and just the presence that he played with.
This is that final, Llordo, where he had
a
banged up calf, and it was the first drawn final that went into overtime.
And this, I think, was a night series where Carey went back with the flight of the ball. But just his stats, 727 goals from 272 games, 7 All-Australians, 4 All-Australian captains, 5 times the best and 4 times best and fairest. He was just everything to North Melbourne through that time.
And when I was asked to do an Essendon number 18, I thought it was going to be you, but it's actually an equal great Llordo and Paul van der Haar, who just lit up Windy Hill in every game that the Bombers played in the 70s mainly. And this famous duel with Peter Knights one particular day was captivating the whole football community, the way they both played on each other. Yeah, the long flowing blonde hair, the shorts, the silly courage. I mean, he just continually put himself in positions that left him vulnerable. The skills to even attempt that and then execute it with the torp. Managed to get to 200 games, a 2-time premiership player, and just was an all-time favourite of Bombers supporters from that era. And anyone who had anything to do with him at the time knew he was a good company too, Llordo.
Can I tell a quick story, eh? Yeah, so he won the grand final in 1984, and he said to somebody, a neighbour who lived, well, a celebration was going to be at Windy Hill, like just a street nearby. And so he said to a neighbour who lived nearby, can I sleep on your couch, say the morning after, because I don't have to walk too far to get to Windy Hill the next day for celebrations. So he just opens the door, goes in, sleeps on their couch. This family wakes up and screams. He went to the wrong house. So they woke up the next day and there's Paul van der Haar sleeping on their couch. So one too many, I think, Van der.
Oh, you didn't get yourself in, Llordo, but Kane Corns, number 18, demanded to put himself in. But he was a great player. 300 games, 4-time best and fairest winner was this man. Turned his game into a run with player, but as a lot of run with players didn't get the footy the other way. There was a lot who just put their arm across and didn't get the job done. Kane actually got off them, just a superior runner. Put Adelaide Hall of Fame, and has called at times Sam Mitchell, one of the greatest of all time, his bunny. And Kane,
we had some good battles.
Well done.
We had some good battles.
Who was your hardest?
Boomer Harvey.
Yeah.
Was my hardest, and the bloke sitting next to you wasn't much fun either.
You only done it once. I didn't send it to me again.
Exactly right.
Stevie, who have you got?
I've gone with the former Giants teammate in Jeremy Cameron. So this is just his time at the GWS Giants. So he was able to play 171 games, kick 427 goals, twice All-Australian, 2019 Coleman medalist. He was a 9-time leading goal kicker at GWS while he was there, and it was a very sad time for that footy club to leave him. But since he's gone on to Geelong, obviously been the gun that everyone has recognised, and he'll probably go on to finish his career and end up somewhere around that 900 club with you, Llordo. Not quite the 1,000, but I reckon he'll kick at least 800 or 900 goals by the time his career is finished.
I reckon his year in 2013, where they won one game.
In their second year in the AFL.
He kicked 62. They won one game and he's 19 years of age.
Yeah.
Needs to go down in some sort of... it's not celebrated enough that year. It's remarkable.
Just on that, Kane, his breakout game was round 18 that year. He kicked 7 against the Magpies at the MCG. 1993, round 18. Gary Ablett Snr, did he have the greatest season of all time? He only played 18 games, but he kicked 124 goals in this season, Ablett. So he got suspended a number of times, and he was just on fire. There's actually a DVD that came out, one special season.
Yeah, it's a good one, isn't it?
It's probably my greatest video that I watched as a kid, or DVD, about the season that Ablett had. Just unstoppable power, speed. He was just brutal on the lead. Just the most talented player maybe that ever played the game.
He wasn't tall, was he?
No, he wasn't.
By today's standards.
6'1".
Yeah, and it's a bit the same with Wayne Carey. Like, Wayne Carey's not a tall man by today's standards.
And just made sure he hurt everyone and got anywhere near the ball. There was also this round in 1982 where Lee Matthews infamously broke the behind post at Windy Hill, and the He-Man call from Lou Richards that accompanied it, and that post ending up in Ron Barassi's pub there in in Richmond there for a period of time. Just a famous moment, captured beautifully.
Yeah, another round 18 moment was in 1988. So we have a look here at the vision of Dermy. He's gone up and he's given Billy Duckworth a kiss mid-game. I don't think Billy Duckworth knew what to do when Derm done this, but you wouldn't want to retaliate, I guess.
Was that the game he ran through their huddle as well, dude?
Look, it might have been the same game. Well, certainly it was
Now this is it.
an annual occurrence, him clashing with the Bombers, and
Here he goes.
Yeah.
Straight through. Imagine doing that today.
And no great retaliation either,
You
Brownie.
get 6 weeks for that today.
Yeah, and you would for the kiss too. Like that, it's an invasion of privacy and private space. You would have a match review office issue to deal with today.
And there's been 3 marks of the year taken in round 18. The first is Chris Tarrant. He was a wonderful player for Collingwood and did this pretty much once a year. Chris Tarrant would take a mark of the year contender. He was a fantastic player. And over Matty Scarlett, who was always a tough opponent. I think he kicked the bag that night as well, Chris Tarrant. This one from Andrew Walker over poor Jakey Carlisle. Had a few speckies taken over him. So here's Jake. And I did my best to keep myself out of it. But round 18, there was also one other mark of the year taken. And here it is.
Yes.
There it is.
Now, what did you say to your opponent this day, Llordo, just after you took the mark?
I said to Warnock, you've probably always dreamt about being on a footy card. You haven't quite got there. Well, I think now you're going to be on one. So he wasn't happy. He wasn't happy.
As always, you got yourself in there, Llordo.
I did. There
Is
it
that
is.
where you're talking about a footy card? Going to be on a footy card.